Development for Firewatch began with a single painting by artist Ollie Moss. In creating the painting, Moss drew inspiration from the color palette and iconography of National Park Service posters from the New Deal era. Moss, fully responsible for the game's lighting and color scheme, also worked on the layout of the environment itself, alongside lead artist Jay Ning. The landscape, crafted with clean lines, simple textures, and soft gradients, including rich hues of orange, red, and gold, evoking the feeling of a forest at sunset. Each scene is bathed in these rich colors, drawing the player into a world that feels almost dreamlike. It's in these moments where stunning art direction meets a well-crafted story with a cleverly implemented photo mode that I found myself saying, Firewatch is an incredibly beautiful game. Firewatch begins in a bar. The protagonist, Henry, approaches college professor Julia while drunk at a bar. The two start dating a week later. They get a dog, discuss having kids, and go through typical relationship struggles. While the introduction is presented almost like a choose-your-own-adventure story, the choices in the intro don't really matter, other than for a small, and I mean that literally, change in a journal entry. Firewatch is a story about dealing with loss and escaping reality. Every path leads to Julia developing early onset dementia, and Henry, in a bid to escape his troubles, ends up taking a job as a fire lookout at Shoshone National Park. His only means of communication with his supervisor Delilah, who he speaks to through walkie talkie, and the two quickly establish a genuinely entertaining back and forth.
Thank you, Henry.
Yeah.
The gameplay in Firewatch is 2 parts walking simulator, a whole lot of dialogue choices with a sprinkle of flirty banter and a touch of navigation skills. The game invites you to explore beyond the main trails, and it rewards curiosity. During my playthrough, wandering off the beaten path led me to wildlife encounters, burned out buildings with incredible views and collectibles, and even a pet turtle who I named Turt Reynolds. Although, I do still feel pretty bad about what I did to Turt Reynolds at the end of the game.
Be free!
Your communications with Delilah quickly develop and can even take a romantic turn. Yet, as a married man, I shot down all of Delilah's advances.
I wish I was over there.
The story in Firewatch is filled with intrigue and mystery. As I played the game, I found myself questioning everything. The situation, character motives, and the reality of what I thought was happening. Who ransacked my watchtower? Who was Delilah talking to on her walkie-talkie? And probably most importantly, why does this scumbag Henry keep taking off his wedding ring? The main plot of the game involves what you and Delilah initially suspect to be a park-wide conspiracy. It all kicks off when Henry, while at the lake, discovers a clipboard with transcripts of his and Delilah's conversations, along with the mysterious walkie-talkie. But before the player can react, Henry is clogged from behind and knocked out. He remembers enough to uncover a fenced-off section of the park called Wapiti Station, where you promptly attempt to break in, quickly realizing Henry isn't your typical video game protagonist.
Look, I'm not gonna be able to get into this place.
I mean, he can't even climb the fence. You have to traverse to an abandoned fireman scout camp and use an axe to break in. Upon doing so, Henry discovers scientific reports on both you and Delilah. Delilah, in a panic, urges Henry to burn the station down. After shooting down her brain-dead idea, we grab a wave receiver and head off. Yet, as we reach the gate, it becomes apparent that the station has caught fire regardless. Later that night, the wave detector from Wapiti Station leads Henry to a backpack with the key to Cave 452, the cave I tried and failed to break into before. Yet, after finally unlocking the door and stepping inside, someone shuts the gate behind Henry, managing to escape the cave system, and we find a set of pythons, allowing Henry to progress deeper into the cave network. Yet in the end, I discovered there was no grand conspiracy hidden within the cave. The only thing you find is a long decomposing body. That of Brian Goodwin. Leaving the cave, you are left with more questions than answers. The next day, about to give up hope, and in the middle of packing up in preparation to evacuate, and the wave detector picks up a final signal, which leads to another cassette tape. It turns out, Henry and Delilah aren't the subject of a government conspiracy. There's no team studying their every movement, and all the strange events of the summer can easily be explained away. All the strange occurrences in the park, the forged reports, the mysterious surveillance, the cave trap, were all orchestrated by Ned Goodwin. He was trying to cover up his son's death, a tragedy he couldn't face. Brian Goodwin was killed in a climbing accident. Whether it was an accident or not is left up to interpretation, but the fact that he chose to isolate, instead of answering questions, calls into debate the innocence of Ned Goodwin. Oh, and the fact that he locked us in a cave with no intention of us surviving. You don't have much time to really think about this revelation, as the various fires have merged and it's time to evacuate the area. Walking to the helipad at Delilah's watchtower, it's natural for players to feel excited about the opportunity to finally meet their only means of connection over the course of the story. Yet, she chooses to leave on a helicopter while we're still making our way to her tower. Arriving at her tower, and we get one final chance to speak to her using her radio. She says Henry should go back and see Julia and face what he has been running from this whole game. There is no conspiracy. Your actions don't have much effect on the story, and you don't even get the girl. I definitely understand why many players felt let down by the ending. Yet this is all by design. Firewatch is a story about escapism. Henry, Delilah, and Ned are all here to escape. Henry, unable to deal with Julia's early onset dementia. Delilah, here as a yearly tradition looking to take a break from her life. And Ned, guilt-ridden and broken after the death of his son. Yet in the end, these characters must all face reality, no matter how hard they try to escape. And for Henry, nothing has changed. He's still alone, haunted by the memories he tried to leave behind. Shoshun wasn't a place for Henry to forget all his problems. It was just another place where reality caught up to him. I really enjoyed Firewatch. It's one of those games with a special vibe that you don't often find. At about 3 to 4 hours long, I think it's well worth the $20 price tag. Unfortunately, it seems like we're never going to get the spiritual successor to Firewatch. Shortly after its release, Campo Santo, the publisher behind Firewatch, was acquired by Valve, and their upcoming project, In the Valley of the Gods, seems to have ended up in developmental purgatory. Regardless, Firewatch truly is a special game. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. I'm currently playing through Pacific Drive, so keep an eye out for that, and I'll see you in the next one.